All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we are going to completely transform the way you handle data. If you spend any real amount of time working in spreadsheets, you know the pain. Trying to find that one exact piece of information buried inside thousands of rows can literally feel like searching for a needle in a digital haystack. But today, we're bringing you the ultimate upgrade to your data analysis toolkit. We are going to master advanced lookups using two absolute powerhouse functions: index and match.
Now, I know exactly what many of you are probably thinking right now, but I already know how to use VLOOKUP. And it's true, VLOOKUP is incredibly popular for a reason. It's almost always the very first major formula people learn when they start getting serious about their spreadsheets. But here's the thing, VLOOKUP actually has some pretty strict limitations. It can be super rigid, and sometimes it just completely breaks when your spreadsheet structure changes. So we're looking at the professional alternative today. We are comparing the classic VLOOKUP with the index and match combination, which is infinitely more flexible and significantly more powerful. Seriously, once you learn how to use this combo, you will never want to go back.
So here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the ultimate lookup solution, move into finding position with match, then retrieving values with index, and after that, the fun part, combining index and match. Finally, we'll hit some real-world applications and wrap it up with a summary. Okay, part one. The ultimate lookup solution, moving beyond the basics.
So why do data pros absolutely swear by this specific formula combination? Well, first off, it's highly flexible. But honestly, that second point is the real game changer. It works left and right. You probably know that VLOOKUP is stuck searching the leftmost column and only returning something to the right of it, while index and match literally don't care about your column order. You can look up a value on the far right side of your screen and pull a result from the far left. No problem. Plus, it processes way faster in massive datasets, so you're not stuck staring at a frozen screen. And it's so much easier to maintain, because simply inserting a new column won't instantly break all your hard work.
Moving right along to part two, finding position with match and locating your data. Okay, before we mash these formulas together to create our unstoppable tool, we really need to understand the individual pieces perfectly. So what is match? Simply put, the match function finds the position of a value in a range. That's its whole job. It doesn't actually give you the raw data itself, like a name or a dollar amount. Think of it purely as a GPS. You tell it what you're looking for, and it tells you exactly where it is sitting in the lineup. Let's ground this with a super simple mock data set. We've got a single column here of employee IDs. Going down the rows, it's just 101, 102, 103, and 104. Just imagine this is a tiny snapshot of a massive corporate directory, and we urgently need to locate the row for employee ID 103. So this is where we write out our syntax. We type equals match, open parentheses, 103, comma, A2 colon A5, comma, 0, close parentheses. To translate that out of spreadsheet language and into plain English, we are basically asking the system to look for the number 103, and we are telling it to look specifically inside the cells from A2 down to A5. Oh, and that little 0 at the very end? That simply tells the program we want an exact match, no approximations allowed. And boom, there's our output. It gives us a 3. So the crucial takeaway here is that match didn't return the ID itself. It returned the number 3. It successfully scanned our list and reported back, yep, that ID you asked for, it's sitting right there in the third position from the top. It provided us with the exact coordinates of our target. Which brings us to part 3, retrieving values with index, fetching the target. Now let's meet the second half of our dynamic duo. Index returns a value from a specified position. So if match is the GPS telling you the exact address, index is the delivery driver who actually drives out to that address and hands you the package. Its entire job is to just look at a list, go to the number you specify, and bring back whatever happens to be sitting there. Notice how perfectly these two functions complement each other? Let's bring in the next piece of our mock data. We have another single column here, but this time we are looking at employee names Ram, Hari, Sita, and Geeta. Notice how they line up directly with those same 4 rows of IDs we just looked at earlier? Since we know from our previous match exercise that our target employee is sitting in position number 3, we can write our index formula. Equals index, open parenthesis, B2 colon B5, comma, 3, close parenthesis. In plain English, we're simply saying, hey, look at this list of names between cells B2 and B5, skip straight down to the third spot, and hand me whatever is there. And exactly as expected, the program returns the name Sita. It went to the list, counted down 1, 2, 3, and successfully fetched our target. Beautifully simple, highly effective. All right, part 4, combining index and match, the unstoppable force. So here is the complete picture. We now have our full dataset put together in a clean 2-column table. Employee IDs on the left, names on the right. 101 is Ram, 102 is Hari, 103 is Sita, and 104 is Geeta. What we ultimately want is a single magical formula where we can just input 103 and have the spreadsheet automatically spit out Sita. Now look closely at how we construct this. We have literally grabbed that entire match formula and stuffed it right inside the index formula. Instead of just hard-coding the number 3 at the end of our index formula, like we did a minute ago, we just dropped the match equation into that exact spot. This is what we call nesting formulas, and let me tell you, it is the absolute secret weapon for advanced data analysis. Let's break down the inner workings of this step by step, because it's pretty slick. When the spreadsheet reads this formula, it always works from the inside out. Step 1, it fires off the match function. Match hunts down ID 103, locates it, and generates the number 3. Step 2, that number 3 is instantly handed off to the outer index function. Index then looks at the name column, goes straight to row 3, and returns the value Sita. The whole thing happens in a fraction of a millisecond, giving you a perfectly automated, completely flexible lookup system. Moving into part 5, real-world applications, putting it to work. So you might be asking yourself, okay, this is conceptually cool, but how does this actually help me on a chaotic Tuesday morning at the office? Well, let's look at some very concrete day-in-the-life scenarios. Say you're in banking, you can instantly pull a customer's name out of a massive database just by typing in their account number. Over in HR, you can grab an employee's specific department out of a master directory using nothing but their ID. If you're in sales, you can instantly fetch the latest product price using just a product code. And remember, because index and match can search left or right, it totally ignores how messy or disorganized the raw data exports from your company's software might be. It will slice right through all that noise and grab exactly what you need. And that brings us to part 6, summary and next steps for your data journey. Well, we successfully scaled the mountain today. We broke down the core building blocks of advanced spreadsheet navigation. We isolated the index function, we nailed down the match function, and most importantly, we learned the syntax for combining them to create those incredibly flexible lookups. By doing so, we unlocked some serious real-world efficiency. Honestly, you should give yourself some major credit here. Grasping how to nest, index, and match is basically a rite of passage for data professionals. It is hands down one of the most vital skills you can develop for serious reporting. But of course, the world of data is massive, and there is always another powerful tool out there waiting to speed up your workflow. Now that you've totally mastered advanced lookups, you actually have the foundational logic you need for the real heavy lifters. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you ready to take all this newly organized data and finally learn how to conquer pivot tables?
Thanks for listening, dropping by, getting high on my vibe.